Hey guys, so it is currently 1:39 a.m. on Friday, December 15th. I am probably about to go to sleep. If my voice sounds kind of funny, it's because I have my retainer in my mouth, right? I just wanted to hop on here because I was thinking about doing a podcast earlier and I didn't get a chance to get around to it. And I'm just organizing some of my plans for the next, I guess, sort of roughly a month or so. That's just me drinking water right there. Um, and I guess I just want to share a few things that I'm learning and sort of document the process that I'm in. So currently, some of the things that have taken place recently that I'm very grateful for and also very excited about is I now have an online merch store, and I just got a free sweater from them, a free hoodie with my logo. It's light blue. It looks so good. It feels amazing. It's just phenomenal all around. The only issue is it's an American company, and I'm from Canada, and so the shipping rates and the prices are quite expensive if you're outside of Canada. So I'm trying to figure out making another merch store through a website called Gelato or maybe Vistaprint. I don't know yet. I'm doing some research with these things. Literally, I'm just hopping on here to document this, and then hopefully in the next couple weeks I can look back at this and be like, oh well, I figured it out. I either realized that I didn't need another merch store, or whatever. But yeah, so I got some merch going. I just submitted a quote for CDs for my recent album. I want to figure out how to do that. I don't know if they'll be done in time for Christmas, but I'm just trying to figure out what the cost would be and how long it would take to print and that whole process and what it would entail. And if I can learn it this time, well then going forward in the future I can do it, and then when I go to events or if I perform, I can bring CDs, and then if anybody wants to buy one, then they can, and it's just an option. And also realistically, I the main reason is I want to put a CD on my shelf of my own album. I think that would be really cool to be able to, look back on. I already did it with my album cover for a canvas on the wall. I printed a canvas with the imagery for my Dichotomy album, and I have it on the wall right above my bed in my bedroom. So that's pretty cool, and it sort of inspires me and makes me feel proud. So that's something you guys would probably know. I had a few speaking engagements recently at a couple organizations, conferences, sort of like banquet fundraising dinners. I spoke twice. Uh, I spoke at a youth event called You Are Chosen. My last couple podcasts were about that. And actually, in one of the talks, I got a paycheck from it, which was pretty cool to get a check from speaking. So, hypothetically speaking, I could put in my bio that I am now a speaker as well as an artist, which is pretty cool. Um, So yeah, what else? What else we got going on? I'm working on a bunch of new music, got new editing softwares, got a whole new recording setup, just got my new chair, new mouse, got a few more things coming at Christmas. I want to get some speakers, like some monitors for when I'm mixing music, as well as stands for my speakers. Right now, I'm not sure if I'm going to get these. They're a good cheap option. The only thing is, I'm not sure about how flat they are. The grid for how flat the frequency spectrum looked on the speakers didn't look quite perfect. I believe they're called the Edifier MR4s. And then I was going to get some stands for them. That's what I'm thinking about doing. I probably would have to wait till the new year, though, to do that. So I'm just, building one step at a time. Um, I just actually discovered. Well, actually, you know what? No, I won't talk about that. Let's keep that a secret for now. Okay. But yeah, I just wanted to, I guess, say two things. One, um, this is sort of random and spontaneous, but What one thing I learned today, and I guess I've learned it in the past, but it sort of was more solidified today, is do not give up hope in God and trust in God just because of what you see in the present moment. And the reason I say that is because there's a few things recently that have gone, somewhat south. And I thought, oh no, this is like going down the wrong trajectory. This is so bad. But you never know how things can sort themselves out. And so if you take on a negative or a bitter perspective just because something temporarily goes wrong, you could actually influence that situation to stay the same because of your negative attitude. I have a story, and this is a story that one of my hockey coaches told me. I remember it was during the COVID time period, and I was just starting to play hockey again after like one of the lockdowns, and I was at a goalie training session, one on one with a coach, and I told him about the music that I was making and how it was impacting lives, and I asked for his perspective just on life and how he's able to keep such a positive perspective, right? Because I didn't see really any spiritual or religious background in him, and so I was curious, like where he gets his perspective from. And what he said to me is, he goes, "Let me tell you a story." Now, I don't remember the exact source of the story, whether it's like a Chinese legend or whatever, but the story goes something like this: there is a man with a son, and the man raises his son on a farm, and they have horses, and the father teaches the son to take care of the horses, and that's really their only source of income, is things related to the horses, because they're in a very poor situation. Now, one day, I believe it's one of the horses runs away, and the father and the son take on this perspective of, oh no, this is terrible. The horse just ran away. Now we lost our income. And the horse ends up running back to its home the next day with several other horses. And they go, oh my gosh, this is an absolute blessing. The horse that ran away just brought back more horses. So now we have even more to work with. And then when the son is taking care of the horses, he falls off of a horse and he breaks his leg, and they go, oh my gosh, this is the worst experience that could possibly happen. My son's leg is broken. What are we going to do? But the next day, the military people show up, and they have to pass on conscripting the son because of his broken leg. And so if he didn't break his leg, then he would have gone off to war and died, and, fought and died in the war and completely left his family. But because he broke his leg, he didn't go. And, you can continue this story and have a bunch of different interpretations. But the point is that any day, anything can change. And further beyond that, life is a lot of life is how you look at things. And that is why I believe that ultimately the way to look at things is through the perspective of the Word of God, because I believe that encapsulates ultimate truth. And so if you view the world through the lens of God's eyes, which He reveals through His Holy Spirit, well, then you can have an honest, truthful view of the world that is also positive, hopeful, and meaningful. And that enables you to endure suffering with the sufficient amount of meaning that is necessary to find some joy in the midst of, the potential chaos of life. So that's a story that I found very valuable and meaningful. And so I just wanted to share that. And then one other thing, and I might bring this up in another podcast, but I believe the three most prominent and significant skills in our world today and going forward into the future. This is sort of, I guess, a random thought, but I've thought about it recently. I talked to a friend of mine about it today. I believe the three most valuable skills going forward, and maybe my perspective on this could change, but I believe that number one is public speaking, the ability to clearly articulate yourself and influence people through your voice. If you have not trained your voice, it is absolutely necessary for you to do so because your voice is an asset. And the thing is, everybody, everybody talks, everybody communicates. It is a common thing that everybody can do. So imagine how much you can stand out if you actively work to become a better communicator and express yourself and articulate yourself better than everybody else. Imagine the presence that you command when you're in an interaction and the respect that you gain because people go, oh my gosh, this person, even if they don't know exactly what they're talking about, they're competent enough to get to the point where they're able to cohesively articulate themselves. And that is something to be admired, and that is something to be respected, and that is something that shows promise and potential for so many other areas of life. So that's something that I believe is incredibly valuable that I strongly believe everybody should um, work on because it's something that you can work on. And if you're wondering where to start, I would say study just people that you hear online and pay attention to vocal inflections and how they grip you as a listener. And I would suggest a few YouTube channels like Charisma on Command. Um, there's a great Instagram account. I believe it's Ask Vin, AskVINH, I believe, or it might be VIHN. And he is absolutely phenomenal at expressing how to improve your articulation skills. And then also recently, I took something called the Christopher Leadership Course. It's a 10-week speaking and leadership program. And I can't give specifics on the course in case you take it. I'm from like Ontario, Canada, and so if you are not sort of around Toronto, Canada, I'm not sure if the course would be available. But if you are near Toronto, oh my goodness, that course is an absolute blessing and absolutely changed my life. It is so fantastic. Um, so I highly recommend that. And part of the reason that I say all this is because going forward in the future, look at all the things that people are becoming dependent on their phones, AI, the internet, and we are losing the ability to clearly articulate ourselves verbally from our own mind without autocorrect, without AI, without, you know, captions on a video on Instagram. Like, what about when you're just talking to somebody and you don't have the ability to edit things out and you can't edit out your filler words like and like it's just you and that person. How are you going to sustain their attention? And how are you going to express yourself in a way that allows them to feel like they can connect to you and in a way where you can express a sense of vulnerability so that that person can feel like they are understood and as if you relate to them? There's so many things that we can learn when it comes to speaking, and I think it's a dying it it's sort of a dying skill that I don't really see people investing in. I think a lot of people are sort of blind to it, but mark my words, you know, a decade, 1 to 2 decades from now, the ability to be a high quality public speaker at a young age is going to be incredibly rare. Incredibly, incredibly rare. Because that's one of people's biggest fears. And most people don't want to do it. But I am telling you that it is one of the most valuable assets that you can possibly have is that ability to speak, to public speak, to, you know, go to events, to advocate for issues, to speak on behalf of organizations and whatnot. It opens so many doors, and it's just begun to open doors in my life, and I can't even imagine where it's going to take me. Because when you couple that with my ability to articulate myself through music, oh my goodness, it is absolutely phenomenal. The next thing that I would say is writing. And the reason that I say that is because that is sort of the visual articulation of your thoughts. And learning to write, in the words of Jordan Peterson, is learning how to think. And if you can articulate your thoughts by writing them, or rather, well, okay, let me take that back a second. By writing down your thoughts, you are forced to think about them and reflect on them and figure out what works and what doesn't. The same way that when you have a conversation with somebody and you sort of throw out your ideas and get feedback on them, and then sort of, sometimes you have to say something out loud before you realize whether it's a good or a bad idea. That is sort of the process of learning how to think critically. And writing does that. That's why journaling is so valuable. That's why, well, yeah, journaling. I was going to say documenting, but same thing. That's part of the reason that I love, love, love writing songs, because I can do exactly that and critically think and reflect on things and express vulnerable things from my life and get it out of my head, but also in a poetic, artistic way where other people can actually enjoy it and it can be a source of income for me, right? So, and right now I'm working on making that whole process more efficient. And it seems like, once I get done the things that I have planned for the rest of December, going into January, I think my schedule is gonna open up significantly more. Um, and that's gonna be good because that'll enable me to allow me to focus more on the actual creation of music. Because 'Cause I've been focusing on a lot of the business and marketing stuff, recently, and just trying to get everything in order so that I can understand how to approach everything collectively going forward. So the second one was writing, first thing was speaking, and the third thing, and this one I guess it's up for debate, but I would argue that editing, the ability to edit, is an incredibly valuable skill. And the reason for it is because in our modern world, so much of what is expressed to us is through videos, through things edited online. Look at every YouTube short, every reel on Instagram, every movie, every TV show, every advertisement. Everything is filming and editing. And the reason that I say editing is valuable is because, I mean, yes, you can get into film, and that's your call. Like, if you want to learn about cinematography and whatnot. For me personally, that's a whole can of worms that am not prepared to open. I'm already diving into the audio realm, and to dive into that visual realm completely, I would just feel a little bit overwhelmed right now, and I haven't even quite, like, I'm still working on getting on my feet in the realm that I'm currently in, and so I don't want to bite off more than I can chew at the moment. But editing is so valuable because, for example, if I want to market my music, I just get my girlfriend to film a video for me. Or if I'm at an event, I just ask somebody there to film my talk, go into CapCut, add some captions, do a quick little color grade, trim out the breaths, remove unnecessary sentences if I need to, because I have the luxury of being able to edit once it's actually filmed. In the moment, it's long format. I don't have that control. but when I edit, I can sort of trim out the fat of my talk. Same with performances. Right now I'm editing a behind the scenes of a music video that I filmed like probably about a year ago. But learning how to edit is such a valuable skill, and if you can get very good at it and very efficient at it, it's something that you can really be paid for. And for me, with the connections that I have, many artists, if they're struggling to market their stuff, I can be like, "Hey, you know, tell me what you need and let me get it back to you." Now, I don't know if that's realistic for me to do with my schedule and with the things that I'm working towards, but nonetheless, it's an opportunity, and it's given me the opportunity to potentially edit for one organization and potentially a company. We'll see how that goes going forward. Not sure how that's going to go, so I don't want to speak on it too much. But yeah, when you start to build those skills, it just opens doors, and there's such those three things. They're so broad, right? Speaking, writing, and editing. They're so broad, but if you can master the fundamentals, then you can really, really expand outwards and find your niche and get specific with what you want to do. And I think the best approach to have for that is just say, when you can, say yes and figure things out from there. So I think that just about concludes this podcast. Just wanted to hop on here and, you know, share that. Sometimes late at night, my brain just starts going, right? Like, I don't know. I just felt like I wanted to talk earlier today. Didn't really get a chance. So I wanted to hop on here and talk to y'all. Have a little bit of fun at like 2 a.m. almost. Unbelievable. What time is it there? Yep, 2:01. Wow. It's like I'm reading the clock's mind. I'm going to have some more water. I'm going to upload this and then I think I'm going to go to sleep. I mean, I'm obviously going to schedule this. I'm not releasing it right now because nobody's going to know that it's out. But yeah, that's the situation, ladies and gentlemen. Um, yeah, more coming soon. I got another lyric video dropping Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern time, working on a behind the scenes video. Next week, I'll probably throw together another lyric video. Working on CDs. Merch is out now if you guys are interested. Um, what else? My song with my girlfriend, Let It Out, is past 600,000 views now, which is absolutely ridiculous. You Broke Me is over 12,000. I believe Another Way is over 8,000. When I Was a Kid is over 2,000. The Cry is over 4,000, all on YouTube. So collectively, that's what? 612, 20, 24, 26, and then it was actually 602,000. So roughly 630,000 all added up, because there was also the Spanish version of Let It Out. So averaged out within a couple thousand is about 630,000 views across a couple songs, most of them from one song. That's pretty ridiculous and pretty insane. And I just want to say thank you to all of you guys who are supporting and who are, sticking with me and believing in me, because it's really cool to see. And I'm very grateful for it. And I guess, it's just a matter of seeing how far I can go. I'm very lucky to be in the situation that I'm in. I'm very grateful to be in the situation that I'm in. And I would absolutely love to make the most of it, to be an inspiration to others, to be in a financially successful position for myself from the business side of things. But further than that, to be a source of hope, and not the ultimate source, but a vessel of that source of hope, and a vessel of the hope of God, the light of God. And that's ultimately what I'm here for. Is I want to make a positive impact on the world. I want to encourage people. I want to help people. I want to help people to become fulfilled and live fulfilling lives, and clean up their perspective on life, and get rid of all the negative BS that has been enslaving them, because I know what that's like, and it's definitely not fun. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much for listening. God bless you. And yeah, we'll see what's next for CDOT. But every day there's something new, and we're working one step at a time. But let's wrap this up before it gets to 25 minutes, so it doesn't look too long for you guys. I appreciate it. God bless, and see ya.